Yes, I think we are live.
Yeah, like,
Yes, we are live. So,
okay.
welcome to this collab with Mr. Priyadarshan. Where are you joining from?
Yeah, I am. First of all, thanks a lot for bringing this collaboration into place. And yes, I am joining from Chennai, actually.
Awesome. So, I'm currently at Pune, but I will move out soon as well.
Hmm.
Yes, we are live. So, yes, I'll start with a fun question.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's begin.
People, what drives people? It's their desires, right? Do you
Hmm.
remember the first ever question I asked you in the first ever consultation you had with me?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you. I think that was that's the deepest question you asked me. I remember. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, Aladdin lamp, right?
I'm sorry.
Aladdin lamp, right?
Yes, 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 yes. I know
So,
that.
if you rub a lamp, a genie would come out and grant you wishes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's say, like, in that call, I'll give you unlimited wishes, but let's say that you have only three wishes to be
Okay.
fulfilled. What would you ask for?
Okay. The first thing what I would ask for is first thing is to basically give me the strength to basically, so basically to thrive against all odds in this more externalized world. That's the first thing. The second thing what I would wish is that to be happy to make this world a beautiful sanctuary. That's the second thing for me. I know it sounds a lot, too ideal and that happily ever after kind of thing, but that even in the current perspective, that really matters a lot for me, for us, for all the humankind, I would say. And third and the most important thing, to make every day the biggest celebration possible is what I would that's what my third wish to be. Yes.
Really, really amazing. So, if people joining or watching this replay or live, if you don't know, Priyadarshan is one of my mentees, from last year. During May, I think you signed up, with a lot of curiosity and questions about life, emotional intelligence, how to live happily, and all that. And you got great results from that as well.
Yeah.
So today we'll be discussing some concepts about emotional intelligence, hacks. I will be asking questions, he will be asking questions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what are the questions you have got? I'm so curious.
First question for you is this. So, what was the major revelation or the origin of your journey as an EI coach? I know before this you were a normal human, normal person who is working in a corporate job, like you said in most of the sessions. So, can you tell us the origin point of your journey as an EI coach? What was the revelation that happened?
So the origin point is the realization of me becoming braver and happier. That is the origin point because that was once impossible. That was once impossible for me. During 2019, I went on the train tracks, right? So I didn't have any hope for a better life. But during November 2020, while I was working on my mindset, my subconscious programming, I myself had a coach, and it was so different. I took a course and I was working on it with one-on-one feedback. It was so different from reading books and taking courses. So all those things led me there. But at that point, I realized, like, wow, for 95 to 98% of the time, I am having positive automated thoughts. It made me smile. And if I can become like this, then anybody can. So that was the origin. And then 6 months later, I was talking to a friend, an acquaintance from another learning community of how to increase the salary or hike. So he was going through a very tough breakup, and in just a 15 minutes call, he got out of that. So that made me realize, like, wow, so I have some skills to help a person get out of their misery. And then 3 months later, I, got into courses which can give me certification. Till then, I was working on a lot of courses. So, like, all things added up, but these two are like major origin moments, definitely. One with me and one with that person.
Wow, that's absolutely profound, I would say, because you have realized that if you can change, you have the power to change some other's life, someone else's life. And that's the biggest part about that makes what the existence of the human race more purposeful and more profound in this beautiful world. And yes, we do have the power of change and the power of choice to do that, and you have done it so wonderfully in your journey. And I am truly shocked, stunned, or you can say more profoundly inspired by your origin journey. And I should really feel so proud of my mentor who did this. And yeah, it's really inspiring to hear that story, Shiva. Really, really inspiring.
Thank you so much. And I hope, like, how somehow I have got into this way. I feel very fortunate, very lucky that I have started on my personal growth journey by the age of like 26, 27 itself. I see people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, like struggling to just get into the right path. Like for me, the path was so clear since I'm an extremist, that is an advantage for me. I went through the depression to the extreme extent, to the extent I felt like, no, this is not going to be my life. So I feel everything to the extreme. I have been somehow able to connect the dots and find the right coaches, right mentors, right path, right learnings at the right time that made my growth super fast and super efficient. I have seen many people learn and they have all taken like so much time and so much of confusion they had to come out of in spite of like investing a lot of money. But for me, it was like so efficient, and I'm so fortunate. And that is what I strive to give to other people as well. There is this healing is just an understanding, and that understanding we need to sort that understanding. Once that is done, everything just falls into the right place. So I have got some questions for you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Firstly, my God, how much I really love your passion, to be honest with you, because once if you get internalized into something, it becomes a part of you, and it becomes an inextricable part and a permanent part of your identity that you will never ever compromise it for any reason of sorts. Because the internalization through the noble efforts which you did, it became so profound and it became inextricably part of your identity that will never ever go out of your personality. I recently read this from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm reading this book right now, and it exactly says this: once a habit becomes a part of your identity, it will never go out of you. That's the best part about
yes. So yes, we can make happiness a habit, choosing to focus on best scenarios, best case scenarios as a habit. I think that is the best ever habit to be able to focus on, the best case scenarios that can happen.
it.
That is
Exactly.
what will heal people, and that is what the roadblocks, people deal with.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Thank
you
you.
have a question, I guess.
Yes, I have a question. Um, so can you share a specific moment when your self-awareness allowed you to overcome an emotional obstacle that you did not expect to face?
A self-awareness to an emotional obstacle that I did not face, right?
That you did not expect to face. Like I'll repeat the question, no problem.
Okay.
Like a specific moment when your self-awareness allowed you to overcome an emotional obstacle that you did not expect to face.
Okay. I think I would say there was this one time in my previous company where I was doing it there, where I was tasked to basically, solve a major problem which has been persisting since 2 years. It's basically to the engineers who have been joining in this live. I'll tell you what that is. It's basically to validate the safety systems for a packaging. That's the whole idea. When I was given the task to validating that, and since there were many times, many of the senior personnel had tried and it failed. And when I was given the opportunity to do that, many people said, you know what, Priyadarshan, we've been doing this since 2 years, and we've tried and we've done that, and nothing had happened. And how would you expect it to make it happen? But then, okay, I said, you know what, let's fine, let's do it anyway. Let's see what happens. I was like, okay, I have been given this job, let's do it. I know it's possible, let's do it, I said. So what I did is that I had to literally take the liberty to basically initiate the process. So what I did, I had to speak with the relevant stakeholders from multiple functions within safety team, maintenance team, operations team to understand the issue in depth. And along with my understanding of the packaging line and coupled with their technical and the knowledge of the problem in hand, I had, and I discussed in hand, I discussed with the senior personnel regarding what I have gathered the information about. So eventually what happened, slowly and steadily, my seniors began to help me in this. So once they knew that I made significant progress, so they gave me the resources to do so. So I capitalized on that, and I immediately capitalized on that. Literally, I made plans, I made coordinations for that, and I also agreed with my manager that I will be completing this activity on February 18th, 2023. It was just 1 week before I made the announcement. I made this deadline 1 week before that date, the prescribed date, which I said. On Feb 18, what happened? I was able to complete the activity without any hassle, to be honest with you. The days before that, I had to ensure that, okay, I need to give the teams the confidence to do the final activity, and which I eventually done on that week. On Feb 18, I completed the activity without any hassle. And what happened after that was a very important insight that I still carry today in my life, which is this: reality can be changed. Reality can be truly changed in the more positive way possible. Because earlier, when I started the project, when people said, we've been trying this for 2 years, how are you expecting to do that? Now, when that happened, it changed everything. And my manager itself said, we've been trying this for 2 years, but we eventually got it cracked. Thanks to you and your and the team's efforts for making it happen. And that also added value to that also gave me a good life lesson. At the same time, this is also one good example where I used my self-awareness to overcome this emotional obstacle that I least expected it, which is saying that, this is what happened. We've been there. We have done that. This is the reality. How are you expecting to do that? I didn't conform to that. Instead, I approached it in a more, what do you say? In the mindset of an experiment, in the mindset of a scientist who does an experiment. And I did that. The result was successful. And eventually, what happened? It brought changes to me, and many people from the team appreciated me, and even the cross-functional stakeholders also appreciated. And eventually, it also added value to the manufacturing process of my factory. So yeah, this was one such incident where I used my self-awareness to basically overcome an emotional obstacle that I least expected. Yeah.
Yeah, like people around, they have their negativity imposed from other people around them since they are like growing up. Every one of us go through that. But we need to like hone that ability to think beyond the previous conclusion and assumptions of everybody. And most of us is negative nowadays. And when we just like, just because they are saying it can't be done, and when we give up, we can't change the reality for better. But like you said, thought becomes reality. Your thought, like maybe it can be solved. Let me try. That created the change in reality, right?
Correct.
You can always change the
And
reality.
let me add another point in that. When I resigned from my previous company, during the farewell speech, my manager himself gave him a very good feedback that I am inspiring. Second thing is that he said, what I really love about Priyadarshan is that he always sees situations in a more positive sense. Even if the situation is hard, but he sees it in a more positive way. That's something I really love about that. And he is very inspiring, I would say.
That's
And
amazing.
and yeah, that truly is the result of what I learned in that day. That's what I would say.
Oh, and then this reminds me that you were actually going through that phase while you were actually in sessions with me. So did it help you to improve that, positivity and all that they noticed and appreciated?
Yeah, it improved actually, because eventually over time I have learned a lot of things. I'll tell you. Through your session, through the concepts through your sessions. At the same time, I was reading this book, the one book you have suggested, which is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. One of my favorites. And yes, I even have this book here. I know this is going to happen, so I brought this book here. And when I read the book wholly, it gave me a lot of revelations. To be honest with you, that is, if there are many people around the world whose realities can be changed, whose destinies can be changed, why not me? That's the interesting part.
That's the power of positive proof, right?
Proof.
We need that positive proof. Someone else has done that. I can also do that.
Yes, exactly. And the best part is there were quite a lot of experiences that resonated with me a lot of times. Be it in my professional space, be it in my personal space, I was very much resonated with it, and it changed my life through the sessions by you, as well as the reading experience of this book called Book of the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So I would say that.
Nice. Amazing. I have another question for you.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
tell me, like, like three not so commonly used hacks for improving your emotional intelligence. What did you use?
Three
Maybe
not
from our
okay.
sessions or even like away from that, like three unconventional or that is not widely known to people, but you use it, which helps you improve your emotional intelligence or even like to feel better.
Okay.
What are
Uh,
those?
okay, I would say the three uncommon hacks that I use is firstly, I think the first hack is quite obvious, but I used it in a very different way, which is the affirmation hack. I'll tell you. Instead of, I used it in two ways. So I used it in a combination. I maintain a note actually. I maintain a notebook of all the positive quotes and the affirmations by the most influential by me and the influential people, and I read it always. So that's one different version of what you have taught me. That's the first thing. The second important hack that I learned is a psychological, it's a therapeutic writing called Dr. James Pennebaker's writing protocol. It's basically you take 4 weeks or any other frequency of your choice, like every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You get to write about something, write about what you feel emotionally, what you are feeling emotionally in the most rawest, unfiltered, and in the most authentic way possible. You don't have to worry about grammar. You don't have to worry about spelling. Just write it, just literally pour it out of your heart and continue to do that again and again and again. What happens is that through the writing, when you face your emotional fears or emotional uncomfortable emotions, eventually it'll get subsided.
Did I do that sometimes too? Yes, yes, I understand. I do
And
that sometimes too, like to capture all the thoughts, and even like in within like 4 to 5 minutes, I feel peace because it's out, expressed out of us. Sometimes we can't say it to people, but we can talk it to the paper and burn it. Possibly, I do that, and it always, always, always helps me a lot. That's a good one.
yeah, and the third important hack I will tell you
So
is
it has to be second, right?
this. First is the different affirmation. Second is the
Oh,
first
okay.
is affirmation. Second one is Dr. James Pennebaker's writing protocol. It's a psychological trick actually.
Got
It's a
it.
psychological hack. It's available on the internet. And the third important hack which I go for is called cognitive reframing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cognitive reframing is wherein you convert a negative thing into a positive thing. Instead of listening to what your ego says, you have to listen it to what your higher self says. That's the important thing. You say, and there is a very good example. I have a couple of examples. I wrote that. First, I'll tell you one thing. I'll give you the best example. Your ego says life is so unfair. That's what your
Mm-hmm.
ego says. But if you reinterpret it, it says your higher self, you have to reinterpret in a way what your higher self says. So what your higher self would say is life tests me with what I need to learn and grow. That's the interesting thing about this. Is actually an insight from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, we will call it. So this is
Mm-hmm.
one such hack also you should use. This is a very interesting hack. If you ever receive a bad feedback or harsh feedback from a manager, you can reframe it in the positive way possible so that you can reduce the intensity of that feedback into your subconscious. At the same time, it will also reduce the probability of you creating destructive patterns associated with the feedback, which will also avoid or eliminate the possibility of eliminate the possibility of narrating the story in the shadow and perspective of the critic. That's the whole idea.
True, I have learned. I have, I told you, right, 2020, like I took self-paced courses. One of them is CBT from
Ah,
University of Ecology. So yes, I got to know about this. Like they asked us to write the negative thoughts, which is the cognitive distortions, into like reframing or positive thoughts, from our higher self or best version of ourselves, right?
yes.
So yes, it is the same concept, but with different frames and words from different people with their
Yeah,
own
yeah.
skills and energies.
This is a very, very
We
good
need to do
insight.
that core work. It's amazing. It's amazing that you do that, and with practice, it definitely gets better and better. You
Yeah.
get to break the negativity at the very beginning stage itself,
So for the
right?
benefit, yeah, so for the benefit of people, I'll reiterate the three steps. First is affirmations. Of course, it's an obvious act, but one difference I made is that I have written certain affirmations of my own, plus the famous quotes said by some of the popular people. One example I'll give you is that one very good affirmation I'll tell you, the best example I'll tell you, which is this. A man must be big enough to admit his mistakes, smart enough to profit from them, and strong enough to correct them. This was said by the American author and orator John C. Maxwell.
Hmm. How
And there,
done when you just accept your shortcomings. Seriously,
yes,
it is the hardest part because that is where the ego hurts for people, right? Like, how can
yeah,
someone notice something bad about me? What if they don't like me? What if they criticize me? What if they use it against me? And the overthinking goes and goes on and on and on. But when we just accept the mistake, yes, I have done a mistake. So we stop
yes,
all that overthinking at that point and we work on the solution. That itself is like half battle won.
yes, correct, very correct. So that's exactly how I do. That's the first step. Affirmation, you can write your own affirmations, plus try to add in some good quotes from positive quotes from influential people. I'll tell you. That will also help you. The
Yes.
second hack, the second hack is this one. Dr. James Pennebaker's writing protocol. Write about that uncomfortable emotion, like on the frequency of your choice. Write the same thing again and again and again and again because it will eventually, the intensity of that emotion will begin to subside. It's like
Hmm.
you're facing your fear multiple times. Say, for example, you have a fear of heights or you have a fear of drowning. But once when you engage with the fear, once if you face the fear again and again and again and again, it will become what do you say, numb, or I would say it would become subsided. The intensity will become
Hmm.
subsided. That's the whole idea. And
Yeah.
the third one is cognitive reframing. You have to basically change the words or change the notions that is set by your ego to change the that is in a negative. You have to basically reframe your negative notions into a positive notions. It's
Got it.
as simple as that. So yeah,
Oh,
that
it's
those are
so important. It's so beautiful how you say it because when we sit with that uncomfortable emotions of fears, of us being vulnerable, accepting our mistake, and also accepting that we are human, we make mistakes, right? So we need to sit with that to face the emotions, sit in the discomfort, and accept our shortcomings to become better.
yeah.
And it's very beautiful how you have actually put it. So what's your question you have for me?
Yeah, I have one question for you. So during your time, so this is now I am taking you to a time, I am taking you back to the time when you were in corporate. Okay, so I want you to be very honest, I want you to be very raw, I want you to be very unfiltered in your answer. During your time at corporate, how would you take feedbacks? Say, for example, let's say you receive a harsh feedback. How would you take it before all your change happened?
Harsh speaker,
Harsh feedback.
harsh feedback. Oh, I have been there. So once I get a feedback, I used to think, oh, they are not noticing the good things about me. They are only focusing on one bad thing I did and not the nine good things they did about me. They are definitely going to affect my appraisal. You know that's me. I say it raw, unfiltered. Truth sets you free, right? And I used to sit and overthink, like they are saying this because they are going to do something in my appraisal and take me out of the team or something. Then how will I, like pay my bills or what a precision comes and I start overthinking. When feedback comes, I did not notice how I can work on it, but instead I was focusing on this person is irrational. They are not telling the truth. I was actually even told before a big conflict. I was told before an appraisal that you need to like you develop an Angular application and get the input and show the output. You just do that, and some person gave me an hint. Like you just do that, and you will definitely get a better rating. And maybe if I have done that, I would have got. But what was my overthinking mindset? They are just playing with my emotions. They don't really care for me. How can I even trust that? My
Mm.
energy is only going to get wasted. These people lie because they have some proof. So what I did was I was focusing on the negative post. I was focusing only on the challenges and not the opportunities. I was not able to. I can't change. Like I did not change because I couldn't see the change, possibility to change. And that is what happens with a lot of people who are even like toxic people or who are like abusing others. They don't even know what they are doing. When people are in pain, they don't know what they are doing. They behave at their best behavior, even if it's like harsh, yelling at somebody, calling somebody stupid or idiot, or focusing on the bad things. That is their best behavior, best like way to protect themselves somehow from their future
Yes.
problems. This is what I thought. Like when I was given a feedback, in spite of all those things, they saw my aggression growing, so they gave me a hint. I was like, no, you're lying. Nothing is gonna happen. You're just doing this to distract me with something or something like that. So eventually, from that point, things went downhill to the point where it pushed me to the rock bottom, which I had to crawl back in step by step, looking for solutions. It's all okay. Life is good. Life is a blessing. I'm grateful that I have gone out of it. If somebody says to me, like even today, if somebody says to my face that this is a very bad thing that you have done, you could have done it somewhere better. I focus on that. I focus on, okay, what I could have done better, right? I focus on that nowadays and I improve on it. I accept it right away. Yes, I have done something wrong. I could have done this, but I'm also human, so I have acceptance towards myself. I'm also human. I'm doing this. I'm definitely going to remember how to do it better the next time. So I don't even say a lot of sorry. I show my changed behavior, that is which is better than before. That is how I express my sorry. So yes, so
Very
becoming
good.
open to feedback is so hard at the beginning, but once you do, it's so liberating. It's so liberating.
Yeah. I relate with you, Shiva, and I'll tell you there is a similar incident happened to me when I was going in my first company. What happened? I made one mistake. I really made a mistake, and my manager was furious, and he got upset. He was very angry, very furious. And that day I got very upset, I'll tell you, because what happened is I was told, I don't know, I was told that if you ever get scolding from your manager, it's a simple, you will get a black mark and eventually they'll throw you out of the job. That I know somebody had told me this, but what I didn't know, but what happened after that was this same thing kept repeating over and over and over again. Really, it was, and eventually what happened, it influenced me everywhere. Like every time when I want to engage on a new task, what happens? My focus was shifted. Instead of completing the task effectively, instead I focused on I should make him feel happy. I should not put him to that extreme of put him to angry or put him to that extreme. That's the worst mistake. That's one of the mistakes I have made, to be honest with you. And eventually, what happened? It continued for a very long time, and that's what very long time. And after a certain point of time, I got that there was one realization that came. I learned a lot of things. Firstly, your first thing is your career will not be destroyed by your one mistake. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. First thing. Second thing is your managers expect you to win. That's the whole idea. Even if you're a young professional or even if you're somebody who's very experienced, your managers expect you to win. Second thing. Third and the most important thing is what I also noticed in the process was my manager was trusting me with the additional tasks also. In spite of making that error, he gave me opportunities. And sometimes I overlooked that because that one single day of him getting furious at me is coming just right in front of my eyes. And that even the third point got overlooked. Then eventually what I happened, I eventually eventually I became very I accepted all the realizations. And when it took me a lot of time. And
Yeah,
what
like
happened?
you are also focusing on one bad thing even more than the other nine good things. It's just human mind.
And exactly. And the other thing is that once you commit to and this is also a very good insight about failure, I'll tell you. I recently read in a very good article that we often associate failure with our identity. Instead, failure is in the true sense, failure is a data point for you to improve. That's the whole idea. I'll tell you the best example. In engineering, what when we say failures, we always consider failures to be more optimistic because in a more positive sense, because whenever you're producing a new product or an innovation, it doesn't come in a single go. Unless and otherwise, you know if you are pretty experienced. Sometimes naturally you have to go through a lot of iterations. I'll tell you that you will have to go through a lot of iterations. You will have to go through a lot of failures. You need to document everything. What was the things that went right? What were the things that went wrong? What are the challenges I've left unanswered? What were the challenges I'm supposed to answer? Eventually all of that comes together. Eventually at one point of time you will eventually materialize your idea or innovation in the first place. And that's what they say, and that's what I learned. One thing about failure in innovation is failures engineer the process of innovation. That's the simplest
Mm.
idea that I'll tell you that. So likewise, in life also, failure is a data point for you to improve. It's not your identity. That is the whole idea. And that's the interesting thing. And that's one of the best realizations I ever had. Along with the three realizations which I said, which is your manager trusts you even when you fail. And first thing, and second thing is your managers expect you to win. And third one is he trusts you with all the opportunities that comes in your way. And third most important thing is your career won't be destroyed by a single mistake. That's the whole idea.
Great. Yes. That's really great insights. I think you can record all these. Maybe one day in the future, you can write your own autobiography. It will be amazing since you have like great interest in writing and all. Please
Yeah.
continue to express all this. So I have a rapid fire kind of a fast
Shiva, 1 minute.
question for you.
Shiva, just give me a minute. Nah, I have a very good quote for failure. I'll tell you. There is a very interesting quote of failure, which is said by author Seth Godin. If you guys are reading, if you guys are voracious readers, or if you're starting to read books, Seth Godin is the author of This is Marketing. Okay. There is a very interesting quote about failure. He says, failure is simply a cost you have to pay on the way to being right. I'll repeat that again. Failure is simply a cost you have to pay on the way to being right. I read
Yes.
I read this from one of the articles and I was so shocked. That literally gave me such a wide smile in my face. Oh my God. I've been literally, oh my God, oh my God, I've been literally, this is truly, this is exactly why failures are data points. That's the cost you are getting. That you're basically incurring the cost of getting more data points in order to get yourself right. That's the whole idea.
Absolutely. Being right is the ultimately the what to do, to be the intention to be like kind, truthful, and peaceful solutions offering for people. It's so good. Like if failure is also like an indication, right? That you're trying. Mistakes happen
Exactly.
for people who try. Otherwise,
Exactly.
you'll be just sitting in the comfort zone and no change happens. And we
Exactly.
learn along the way. We even in all areas of our life, be it relationships, finances, health, wealth, physical environment. The more we try, the more we make mistakes, and then we understand the data points. When we separate emotions aside, they hurt me, they did bad, I did good, and all that stuff. There is like data points, like this is what has to be done
Done.
bravely. I have to set boundaries in relationship. Find a person who also values the same things as me. Or if it's in career, these are the qualities I want to express. I want to be truthful. If corporate can't give me that, I can't be there. We have got to make those changes along the way. I also made a mistake, blindly following the crowd. My friend told in this college the food will be good, Shiva, and EIE department is super easy. You just have to draw the diagrams and explain. And that is the reason I joined, blindly following the crowd. If I can turn back the clock, maybe I could have, done my psychology degree and, even had my PhD doctorate now. But it's okay. I learned through mistakes. And that learning is so, so deep. And I don't regret. Even if an opportunity is given to change my past, I don't think I would do that because everything has just happened in the way it should be. And it has, it has also like gone well. and I'm
Yeah.
very, very grateful for that.
And I hope one day, and I hope one day you will definitely do a psychology degree. I'm very much happy to see that actually. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
And maybe I will. Just the need for a psychology degree is basically to just have it for the namesake. Otherwise, when I even like take those books or anything, like you said, like cognitive framing or cognitive distortions, it's just different words, but the core concept is same. When you just have the understanding of the core concept, it's just the same learning in different words. I realized that after investing 7,000 plus hours, I'm okay to learn. I'm always open to learn. I'm also like considering to have a like PhD or something. I'm having a slight thought, even though there are many business mentors who recommend don't do that. Don't do
Right.
that because it's 2025 and you need not do that. But I'm having that in the back of my mind. Maybe I'll get clarity or make some mistakes and have some clarity in the future. I'm open to that.
Very nice.
Okay,
Very.
I have these. Thanks for your patience. And I have like 10 questions. It's going to be like a rapid fire super fast. So you have to like
Oh, okay.
don't think too much. You just have to
Okay.
answer super fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
If your emotions were to have their own theme park,
Okay.
what would the rides be called? Tell, name three, and which one would you be your favorite? Fast, fast, fast.
Okay. What would I say? If in the case of anger, it would be anger. It would be that what do you call? There is this one ride where you get to spin. You will be spinning around your own axis, and you will have there is this giant plate that spins around that. That would be for anger. That's the first thing. I think for happiness, it will be obvious. It's a roller coaster for me. It's a roller coaster. And if it's happiness, euphoria, or extreme craziness, I will go for a roller coaster. If it's for a silent one, I would go for a Ferris wheel or a giant wheel. It's that simple.
Hmm.
If it's for silence and serenity, I would go for a giant wheel or a Ferris wheel.
Okay, that's quite fast. Now it's going to be even more fast. Okay, if
Okay.
you magically gain one new super power in emotional intelligence overnight, what would it be, and how would you use it to totally win at life?
Okay, if there would be one power that I gain for emotional intelligence, and then if I use it to win in my life. Okay, it would be for me, it's what would I say? Uh, photographic
Nothing
mem
too much.
okay, I would say I would say it's a combo of two things. One is telepathy. At the same time, it's the photographic memory from the other person's perspective, where I get to see what happens behind the mind of it in a mental movie, so that I get to understand the situations are more easier, so that I can practice my strategy of empathy plus benefit of doubt more effectively. Even though it's
Beautiful.
even without the powers, I can still do it. I'm doing it better. If with the power, that is also fine. It's a win-win for me anyway.
Beautiful how you focus on other person's perspective and understanding. That is it. Understanding is it to live a better life, to create a better world. Okay, if you had to pick one emoji to represent your emotional state today, what would it be and why?
That's quite obvious. It will be a smiley face for me.
Awesome. And why?
Because I'm happy at this moment. I'm very happy at this moment. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to interact with my mentor, which is essentially Shiva, and yes, I get to discuss a lot of things that in a more I'm more happy to involve in a more raw, authentic, unfiltered conversation with you. That's the best part about it.
Amazing. Which movie or TV character do you think demonstrates the best emotional intelligence? And what's one thing we can learn from them? Quick answer.
Okay. That's the best part. I would say for me, it's Batman, because I'll tell you why he is. Most of the time, I've never seen Batman becoming so emotional unless and otherwise there were certain circumstances. Because most of the times, if you've read Batman comics or if you've seen Batman movies, he always relies on his intellect, deductive reasoning, and more importantly, he has a very good hindsight of predicting things even before it actually happens. And that's the best. And he has also faced some of the most gruesome villains, I'll tell you, gruesome, more powerful, and some villains that are even beyond human capability. He has faced all of them. And plus, if you guys are hardcore fans of DC and Justice League, Batman was the one person who knew how to defeat entire members of the Justice League. He knows how to defeat Superman. He knows how to defeat Wonder Woman. He knows how to defeat Hawkgirl. He knows how to defeat Martian Manhunter. Every single one of them. That's the best thing about Batman. I really love. So yeah,
Nice, nice.
Batman would be
Knowing
my
helps. Knowing the anticipation of the future challenges is like a
He
great.
knows everything. So that's what I love about Batman. Yeah. He's my favorite superhero, actually.
Amazing. So next question: if there were a soundtrack to your emotional journey, what song would you be playing when you're feeling totally in control of your emotions?
Okay, I think the best answer I would give you is a symphony for me. Because I'll tell you, I love listening to symphonies. I love listening to Beethoven. I love to listening to Mozart. I like to listen to Johann Sebastian J.S. Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach, and a lot of classical music. I've been listening to this since my childhood, and I love listening to the symphony because it gives you literally everything. It gives you the feeling of being sad, sullen, and it also gives you the transitioning into something more exciting, more euphoric. That's the best thing about listening to symphonies. It just literally puts you into a plethora of emotions. You get to experience it, all of them. At the same time, once you get out of the song, you feel a lot better. That's the best part about listening to symphonies. Yeah.
Wow, simple one. What's your funniest or most surprising EI hack that you use in everyday life? Like the one that made you say, "Wow, I should have done this way earlier."
Oh,
Funniest or most surprising EI hack?
funniest and the most surprising EI hack for me. I think it could have been done better is what would I say?
No,
Um,
like you think that I should have done this way earlier. Why I
yeah.
didn't do that like that?
Okay, I would say it's the cognitive reframing part. That's the EI hack.
But
I
how is
should.
it funny?
I mean, it's not funny. Yeah, it is quite funny, is because sometimes what happens. But then what? At that time, I was literally focused. I was just focusing on that fine day. I got the scolding, and I shouldn't. I should have done this. Even I should have. What I would have done, I should have literally reframed that day instead of just taking it as it is. That's the one thing I should have done. And the other thing, yes, very good example. I got it. The other example I have is just facing your emotions head on. Simple. I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
Because there is a very interesting concept I learned called emotional bypassing. What happens is, say for example, if you're feeling an uncomfortable emotion, like say for example, you got scolded, you feel embarrassed and everything. Instead of escaping from that by using external devices like phones, going into doom scrolling and everything, just face it head on. That's the idea.
Yes.
Just face
Sit,
it
sit,
head on.
feel it.
Just face
Sit
it
with
head
the
on.
emotion.
I always say to myself, Priyadarshan, you're in a very kind, you are in a space that is very kind, compassionate, and you are listening to yourself. Allow yourself to feel more freely. You're a free bird.
Yes.
Make yourself feel lighter. I always say this to myself. So in my mind, I create a space for myself where I take the time, mindfully process the emotions, and then I extract the data out of it. That's what I do.
Beautiful. Beautiful acceptance. Like all emotions are allowed. It's
Allowed.
fun. There is full permission to feel all the emotions. That's
Exactly.
okay. Next question.
Yes,
If
good.
emotions were food, what would your
Oh,
current emotional taste like? And what
oh.
dish would you pair it with to enhance the experience?
Okay. If it's for anger, it's curd for sure. It's curd
No,
because I.
now. If emotions were food, what would your current emotional state taste like?
Okay, for anger, I think for
Now
anger
you
it
are
is.
angry.
No, no, no. I'm example. I'm just giving an example. I am happy, like I said, but I'm just giving an example. Starting off with the most intense to the lighter one. I'm telling you. Okay. For anger, it will be sour. Sour. No, no, no. For anger, it will be chili. Like it will be spicy. I'll tell you. That kind of one that brings you, tears.
Andhra biryani, possibly.
Obviously, it's not just biryani. Whichever spicy food you're taking, especially, I'm telling this from my experience in Hyderabad. I'm telling you, there were many times I've taken spicy food, and Tears were rolling down like anything. That happened. That happened literally. Second thing, for embarrassment, it will be sour like curd. For sure, I'll tell you.
Ah,
Sour like curd. For happiness, it's a sweet for me. It's a sweet
ah,
for me. Happiness is just a
very
sweet.
nice.
If it's a sweet, like for example, it would be a jalebi or it would be a kesari or even more sweeter than a butterscotch ice cream, perhaps. That could also be there.
Very nice, very nice. I don't eat sugar or chilies or spices or anything. If I have to pick, then I would say a healthy food, something like a spinach dal rice or something. That's like calm, happiness, healthy. That's also my favorite.
Very
Okay,
nice.
the question is for you. That's an amazing answer. So the next question is, if you could time travel and give your past self one piece of emotional wisdom, what would it be? And would you maybe give them a hug too?
Okay, what emotion? What if I were to travel back and tell to my past self? What would be the one emotional advice I would give you? That the answer is quite obvious. Face emotions head on. Understand the reality, what's going on. And it's absolutely fine. You're a human being. You are in the zone. You are learning. You are doing you are learning. If you do the mistakes, that's absolutely fine. You're not, you have essentially gained a data point. Failing fast is the only way. If you're failing fast, you're really good. You're already ahead. In fact, you're already ahead. You're already going great at your game. It's just all you need to do. It's just one way of telling you to become the best. You need to answer this. Definitely go for it. Face emotions head on. Answer all of them. Solve your data points, and eventually you will come. And eventually you will become something different at the end of the tunnel. I will tell you. And I would literally pat my past self on the shoulder and I would literally give him a tight hug for that, because why I'm giving him the tight hug, because to literally crush to literally crush and dissipate what the negative energy that this guy has, that my past self has. And just literally hug him and then literally, both of our positive energies converge and eventually what will happen, it will become more profound. He will also become stronger like that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's so true. Like sit with your emotions, just face it, don't escape from it. And this is what we did in the fourth week, right? We may not say it out loud, but that is what we did so intensely, sitting and writing those many pages of facing those fears to an extreme extent in mind,
Extremes.
in present and future. Amazing. That helps a lot of people get
And
out of.
one more advice I will give you. Even if you hit rock bottom, inadvertently or unfortunately, if you've hit rock bottom, but remember, you are going to bounce back up really stronger. And whatever pressed you down, it's going to literally skyrocket you higher.
Yes. So, so beautiful. I'm so proud of you. I can clearly sense the change. Like the Priyadarshan I met during May 2024 and in March 2025, what a growth.
Mm. Thank you.
So
And
much of time, energy, and money you have invested in personal growth. That is, I can clearly see the reward in your positivity and your energy. Kudos. Yes, I'm proud of you.
thank you. And I am much happy and grateful to have received your wisdom, as well as as I finished the course, I spent a lot of time on lot on reading articles and reading books from my favorite areas of interest, be it in science, tech, engineering, and math, be it in psychology and life skills, be it in literature and arts and thought leadership. And I am doing that. And every book I read, it is teaching me something about my something in my life. It is literally telling me that Priyadarshan, you have done this. You have faced this. Do you sense? I see that you have faced this. You can do this even better. As you have armed, now you can do better. You have the choice. You have the power to make a choice to do and make that choice to do better. Simple as that.
I'm speechless, seriously. Next question. If you were a superhero with the power to change
Okay.
people's moods
Notes
instantly,
instantly.
what would your superhero name be? And what would your power be called?
Oh my God, that's an unexpected question for me. I'll tell you. You know what? I don't. I don't want to keep an alter ego for myself because my name is quite. I would keep my name directly because I find my name to be very unique and very rare. As far as for most of my life I traveled, I find it. I prefer to be keeping it as Priyadarshan. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
because I'll tell you.
amazing.
Yeah, because I'll tell
Very
you. I once asked my parents, what's the meaning of my name? I said, one who is loved by all. So why not? I should keep
oh,
one
yes.
who is loved by all. I was like, okay, I love my name. So why don't I keep it? I am my biggest superhero. I don't need a cape. All I just need is just my personality and my noble deeds and noble efforts to change people's moods. Why not?
So, so how would you change people's mood instantly? With
Pretty
what?
simple. Pretty simple. Okay. What I usually do every time is firstly, I engage with people myself. I go to people, I talk to them. And then what I do is when they say their problems to me, I sit with them and I ask, tell me more. Tell me more about the problem. Let's do this together. I am here for you. Let's do this together. I tell them, I give them a safe space. I assure that I am there, you are there. Let's share the vulnerabilities. You are in my space. You are in my realm. You are in my world. Let's do it. We are in a world that we can share anything safely. And we two are the gatekeepers of each other's secrets. So that's what I say. And eventually what would happen is I have a habit of finding people's blind spots. I'll tell you. Finding people's blind spots or some interesting details about people, and I tell it to them directly. I tell it to them directly, and they said, and they feel there were many times people felt very happy. I appreciate them wholeheartedly. I literally articulate and tell them about the blind spots which they find it to be advantageous for themselves, which I find it to be very advantageous, which is finding it to them, which I find them, which is also I find them to be very advantageous to that person's life, but the person does not know he has the superpower.
Mhm.
So I tell him
Yes.
that. I tell him that basically, if I were to put it in a nutshell, it's not just I'm the superhero. I'm making everybody their version of being a superhero. That's the simplest fact.
So beautiful, and it's a very good quality you have. Like that is a very good quality to have in even coaching and mentoring journey as well. Even that is one of my core strengths that I highlight the blind spot they miss to see, because mind on routine it cannot just see. We need a different new perspective, especially from like a positive person who's peaceful, who's doing all that work. They can show it, who take that brave action to face their fears and sit with the uncomfortable emotions. So
Exactly.
you can actually become a great coach or a mentor yourself.
Thank you. And Shiva, I'll tell you one more interesting thing I noticed in this question. In fact, you are also the answer for the question. Think about this. I already told this to you. Think about this. When people call your name as Shivaranjani, how would they feel? You feel very happy, you feel very delighted, and people also feel very delighted, including myself, because the identity of yours has become very permanent or became so deeply imprinted in our minds that whenever we see Shivaranjani, we know that she is a superhero. She is going to help us, and she is going to make the people whom they have approached to Shivaranjani become their greatest superheroes in life. So simple.
Thank you, thank
It's
you.
exactly that's what everyone's their own superheroes. I'll tell you the simplest fact. Sometimes you may know it yourself. Sometimes you have the other people to find it for yourself. It happens in two ways. But eventually you are a superhero in your life. Naturally, I'll tell you that.
True, true. Everybody is.
Naturally you are born to be a superhero for sure. You may not have the heat vision, as you may not have the invulnerability of a Superman or X-ray vision of some other superhero. You may not have super strength like Captain America, but you have a very strong unique power in you that can change the world, that can change the people around
True,
you,
true.
that can change the lives of people around you, that you can change the world around you. You can basically choose, craft, create, and change your destiny.
Absolutely. Everybody is having their own beautifully greatness in them. And definitely, we are here to make this world better. We are all
Exactly.
each other's saviors and our own superheroes. Yes?
Exactly. Exactly.
Amazing. So last question for you. Ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm born ready. Tell me.
So if emotional intelligence
Uh,
had its own social media platform,
okay.
what would the trending hashtags be, and who would you follow for the best advice?
Oh my God, that's a very deep question, Shivranjini, because I don't think this would be considered as a rapid fire question for me because I wouldn't consider that because it's a very deep question to be honest with you. If EI had a platform, uh, I would say, you know what, I have to think of an, wait, just think. EI had a name of a platform.
So you need not tell the name. The question is about like if it has its own social media platform, what would be the trending hashtags be? So emotional
Okay,
intelligence is its name. So what would be its trending hashtag, and who would you follow for the best advice?
okay. Emotional intelligence hashtag, I will say, I think, mm, emotion,
Just say
emotions.
whatever you feel
Okay,
like.
okay, okay. Hashtag emotions are also a part. Emotions are also intelligence, you can say. That's one thing. That's the first thing. The people who I follow for the best advice, there were a couple of people. Can I also mention the people from LinkedIn also if it's fine?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, there are a couple of people I follow on LinkedIn, especially when it comes to EI and psychology and life skills. Okay, I also made an Excel regarding that to follow the essential content creators for LinkedIn. Just let me open that for a while. Uh, there we go. Okay. So firstly, I would follow a clinical psychologist by the name of Dr. Meghana Singhal. That's the first one. The
Mm-hmm.
second person I would follow is Ms. Shika Pandey, who is a mindfulness mindset coach. And third one is Mr. Rajan Singh, who is a founder of Habit Strong. He has a startup called Habit Strong, where he teaches people about productivity, Zen lifestyle, and all other emotional intelligence and psychology concepts. Fourth one is Ms. Aditi Mishra, who is also the co-founder of Mindfry, who is a therapist and researcher. I love her posts actually. She gives the most authentic, unfiltered, raw advice about therapy, which I love to read. Fifth one is my senior, Miss Priyanka Shankar from my school time. She's a counseling psychologist who is also she's a rapidly evolving counseling psychologist that I love to follow. Sixth one is Shade Zarai. Shade Zara is one
Ah, I
of
have
my
seen. Yeah, yeah.
Shade Zara is one of my favorite
Corporate,
my
a lot of corporate emotional
my
intelligence.
I love her insights. I'll tell you one of my favorite psychology and emotional and life skills and psychology, life skills and emotional intelligence content creators. In fact, I learn a lot of I learned a lot of corporate knowledge from her. I
Yeah,
love I love how she connects psychology, emotional intelligence, neuroscience to the everyday corporate dynamic to the dynamic everyday corporate landscape to
mm,
provide solutions for us young professionals and refined professionals across industries to basically become the best version of themselves.
beautiful. I'm
I
sure,
love,
like, in the future, your name would also be there. Then you also share those kind of like
yeah,
thought-provoking
yeah.
posts for many people.
And the next one I love is, and the other content creator I love is Miss Aditi Surana, who is a high performance coach. I really love her because I love how she connects a lot of concepts she learns from books. She loves to write and she's also a calligraphy expert, I'll tell you that. And she loves to connect all these concepts into her high performance in her high performance framework. And the best part is, I really love her stellar track record. And you wouldn't believe she was called as a high. She was also even invited as a high performance coach for beauty pageants. One among them was, I think, Femina 2022. I remember that. I saw it on LinkedIn back then. I love seeing her content, especially when it comes to learning about high performance concepts about how do you become the high performance version of yourself, about books, since I love reading books. And third,
Mm.
and the most important thing, she loves to say a lot of quotes. And she says it from a lot of life experiences. And she also answers from a lot, she also answers a lot of questions from a lot of working professionals asked, who are specifically asked out to Miss Aditi. in her series called Ask Me Anything. I love everything she does. That's the one. And the next one I follow was, so far I've said one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, I've said seven. The next person I would follow is Dr. Susan
Can
David.
I ask for like how many people you are planning to say?
I mean, I have a total of how many? I have a total
I
of
think this is enough for now because there's already too many. Let's not overwhelm
17,
people.
17, 17 in total. So yeah,
Whoa, that's gonna take a lot of time. So this is enough for now. I'm sure like
okay,
your name will definitely be in that list Monday with your deep passion for the thing. And let me tell you, like the 10 week foundational system you went through with me, right? You can use that. Okay, you
definitely.
can use the same system to coach anybody because it is not going to impose anything into that person. It is just that self-realization. The way you ask them to do this or this, we ask, the best coach is the one who asks so that the coachee will get their own intuitive clarity and answer.
Exactly.
That system, you already have the system, you can actually go ahead and coach somebody, start like for free for somebody, get their testimonial and get started.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. Yeah, definitely. Maybe I would see in the in the near future. I would also have to think about it. So yeah,
Yeah, if you have any doubts along the way, you can feel free to ask me. This person is saying this. What should I say next? I coach a lot of coaches as well. How to handle their doubts and questions. Feel free to ask me if you have
yeah,
any.
yeah,
Okay, so
sure.
1 hour of our YouTube live collab for the first time,
Yes.
and then really energetic and like bubbly, happy energy. Thanks for your time and energy. How do you feel?
Well, Shiva, thank you so much for having me here. And firstly, it was such a delightful interaction with you. And probably this is my first YouTube live and LinkedIn live combined, I'll tell you. There's a lot of, I'll tell you one thing, there is a lot of first in your case, your engineer, because in my LinkedIn journey, you're the first connection I met in real life. And this is my first YouTube live and my LinkedIn live combined. Every
Okay, this
first,
is not actually live in LinkedIn yet. I am yet to configure those settings. This is just live
okay.
in YouTube for now.
Okay. That's thank you for the correction, but that's what they say in life. Your firsts are always so special, and so is this. That so is this. Seriously, and what I felt is that I had a very reflective and more introspective experience when I talked with you. And the best part about this is we have literally the best part about is I love how the conversation went raw, unfiltered, positive. At the same time, we were so happy both those things. I seriously love your deep questions that you asked me, especially the rapid fire questions. My God, I haven't expected a couple of few of them, man. I mean, it just came out of the blue, and I have to. Oh my God, this is really interesting.
We
You
have been
and
doing it for past 35 minutes actually, to be honest. I think 30 to 35 minutes.
I think definitely I should also learn from you. How do I craft questions for rapid fire next time? So yeah.
I took
Well,
help from ChatGPT, raw and unfiltered, honest truth.
okay. It's okay.
So we
That's
have
not
to
a
put the prompt right as well. So I can help you. That's maybe not.
yeah. Okay. That shouldn't be a problem. But yeah. But anyways, but that being said, I am very happy and I am very delighted and more happy to have ever to have this wonderful interaction with you with you, Shiva. Thank you for being my mentor and thank you for everything you have done for the last 1 year. And truly, I will continue to do this again in my life because I have dedicated my entire lifetime for learning all of these psychology, life skills, science, tech, engineering, math, literature, arts, and thought leadership. And to be honest with you, I enjoyed the conversation a lot. So thank you so much. And it was, and truly I can see the difference in vibe. I'll tell you that because last time it was during the coaching sessions, it was different. And now after that, it's quite different. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for that, Shiva. And if I were to tell you, if I were to wish you on the way onward, firstly, I want to wish you a very happy Women's Day for you. That's the first thing. Second thing is, um, continue to spread your noble efforts, continue to do all these noble efforts that you do to people because the world needs change makers. That's the best part about it, and we are here to change the world. That's the whole idea. And more importantly, help people to find their strength, help people to overcome their trials and tribulations. And ultimately I can see that in the future If everybody believes that the change is their superpower, and if everybody believes the reality can be changed, then the world can be changed into a truly beautiful sanctuary where happiness, love, optimism, and hope will prevail to infinity and beyond.
Beautiful. Yes, that's the hope, heaven on earth, through personal responsibility from every
And
individual.
yes, it is my absolute honor and absolute pleasure to be your whole guest for your life today. So thank you. I think this is I think I think this session would be it's my way of giving my it's my way of giving back to you. So that's one thing I would say.
Thank you too. Thank you too for trust and people who are watching this. Priyadarshan is a great individual. Like he's so young, but in mind, there's so much of maturity, so much of like intention to understand and become a better person. If you want to be friends, can people contact you on LinkedIn? Can they?
Well, let them. Yeah, I would be more than happy to do so. That's the thing. Yeah, yeah. They can contact me on LinkedIn, and further, if they want to contact them, I would share their WhatsApp number, my WhatsApp number to them, and then yeah, we can have a chat. That's not a problem.
Yes, people with the personal growth interest who are open to personal growth, feel free to contact him and feel free to contact me if you also want to improve your emotional intelligence. Because now I'm so proud to see Priyadarshan's growth in like mindset and way you ask questions. I've gathered so much of knowledge. Not just that, you implement with an open mind and sincerity.
Yeah.
So he is the positive proof here. I am the positive proof here that better life can happen. So reach out to me. There's a link in my bio for a free one-on-one consultation. And so
And
people now seize this opportunity while it's available. Yes.
yeah, and one last thing I want to tell the audience who listen to this live. Thank you so much for your patient listening. And definitely I will have to watch the restream in YouTube because I want to see because since I'm right now focused on my Zoom screen here because I didn't open my YouTube's live stream yet because I know it might interfere with technically it might interfere with my mic. So that's why I didn't do that. But anyways, thank you so much for your patient listening. And definitely, if there are any questions that were asked in the live, me and Shiva will get back to you, and that's the best thing. And thank you so much for your time, patience, and spending your valuable investment on personal growth. And if you have joined the live, give yourself a pat on the back that you have also embraced this. You are also started. This could be a starting point for you on your journey towards personal growth. And trust me, guys, I'm telling you I'm telling you this is going to be the best investment you will ever make. I'm sure of it. I'm telling this from realistically speaking. It is possible. You can do this. All I can say that. And
Yes.
yes, and yes, I would also recommend this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, to the audience. If you guys want to have a read on this book, definitely, this is a book that will definitely change your life. And this would, and trust me when I say this, when I read the book, it felt as if I felt very calm, very humbled. At the same time, it also gave me the vibes of reading the Holy Bible itself because there were a lot of instances the verses from Holy Bible had come into this.
Yes. And
That's
it's
the
also universal. It's not like religion based. You can take it or leave it, but you will take it because it's universal, applicable to all with the intention of kind and peace for all. There is no
exactly
religion, like you have to follow this person and
no
do prayer, nothing like that, right?
that
Like,
that's the best part. That's the best part about it. And more importantly, it will tell you. And the best part is it will give you what exactly the biblical verses mean in the book.
the right meaning,
Right
actually.
meaning, exactly. It will give you the right meaning, and you will appreciate that. Okay. And I know I'm from a different faith. The book is also from a different faith, but yet I embrace the knowledge from that. That's the interesting part about it. So
Exactly. People say, like, we have all the knowledge available in Bhagavad Gita, Bible, Holy Quran. So that is great. But the right meaning has to be, interpreted well. It's not
yes,
like blindly following. It's about the sayings and how we implement it in life, so that we are kind, truthful, peaceful for the
yeah.
better world, the heaven on earth.
Yeah. So once again, thank you, my dear audience, for listening to the conversation, and I hope that you have learned something more productive. You have learned something more better, And please feel free to share your reviews of this, share your experiences of watching this live to me, either
Like,
to
comment, share.
I mean, I'm telling this genuinely because you can either you can tell it to me or Shivaranjani, so that we both can we would be more than happy to receive your reviews. So yeah, first thank you so much, and you guys are very special for me because my first YouTube live with you guys. So thank you, and I wish you all the very best in your lives as well as you guys are watching this. And definitely, reality can be changed in a more positive way, and the world, and you can change the world and make it into a beautiful place. Thank you so much, guys.
Yay! Amazing! Great! Yes, so see you guys soon, possibly in another live. And yes, so reach out to me if you feel like, and there's a link in bio if you want to reach out to me one-on-one in a free consultation. Hi,
Uh,
everyone.
yeah, see you. Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Priyadarshan, too, for your time and energy.